Happy Friday, everybody. I'm meteorologist Ben Dery. Thanks for checking us out on KARE 11 Plus. And by the way, happy May as well. We ended off April wetter than normal, and it looks like as we head into the first week of May, things are actually going to be fairly dry. We're starting the month off, I should say, on a quiet note. A lot of these puffy fair weather cumulus clouds outside today. It's been pretty common for most of this week, and most of this week's weather pattern has been dry, and it has been cool as well. That changes once we get into the upcoming weekend. A weekend warm-up is in the forecast. Temperatures rising back into the 60s. We'll call it more seasonal weather by Saturday, and then near 70 as we head into Sunday, probably the highlight of the weekend. Over the next 7 days, we have minor rain chances. There are several in place, including Saturday evening, Monday, and Wednesday, but these are isolated hit-and-miss rain showers. Most of the next 7 days will be fairly dry, and we even have more frost potential by the middle part of next week. So after a weekend warm-up, temperatures will cool back into the 50s as we head into next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here's our precip forecast over the next week or so, and you will see some green over Minnesota and Wisconsin, but the main theme is these weather systems are coming from the northwest. We have several small chances for showers over the next week or so. The deep moisture is going to stay away from us over the central plain states and over the Ohio River Valley, as where heavy rain is more expected. The rest of us will be dealing with fairly quiet conditions. This coming off of, remember that deluge that we started the week with, where we had an inch or more of rain across a good chunk of the region that did a number on our current drought situation. This is the latest drought monitor report. This was released on Thursday, and the data is actually coming from Tuesday, so it does include Monday's rainy weather. And you can see there are still some pockets of Minnesota where we still have moderate drought, but that has shrunken over the last week or so, and generally speaking, we're headed the right direction, especially considering we're just now heading into our growing season. We have a lot of green that's starting to pop up, and the threat for wildfires continues to diminish as we again continue to green up. And look at that, no drought for Minnesota or for the Twin Cities, and most of the Wisconsin areas drought free as well. So good news there. The main headline for today is going to be the one last frosty morning. The National Weather Service just recently issuing a freeze warning that includes central southern Minnesota, a good chunk of Wisconsin as well. Basically everywhere that the growing season has started has the potential of seeing frosty conditions. Now, it doesn't include central northern Minnesota. Main reason is we're not yet in our growing season yet, so temperatures have been colder than freezing there the last couple of nights, but we just don't have that warning in place. This goes into effect just after midnight, 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Temperatures basically throughout dropping to between 26 and 32 degrees. If you do have any sensitive plants that you do have outdoors, just bring them into the garage, cover them up for at least one more night, because once we get after, say, mid-morning on Saturday, temperatures will probably stay well above freezing through the weekend and into at least the first couple of days of next week. Now, these are actual forecast lows for tonight. You can see well below freezing for northern Minnesota. By the way, parts of the Iron Range were in the teens earlier this morning, so a slight warm up there. St. Cloud down to 31, Mankato, Rochester grazing the freezing mark, and you can see even within the metro core, temperatures dropping deep into the 30s. Places like Stillwater, Lake Elmo, New Richmond drop into 32 degrees, and points west like Corcoran, the Buffalo area, down towards, say, Glencoe, probably seeing temperatures near the freezing mark as well. But again, this is probably going to be the last time we see temperatures this cold for a while. And if you're still waiting to put those sensitive plants in the garden, it's best to not use a specific date as your kind of point of reference, but rather probability. So what you're looking at is the probability of our last frost, our last 32-degree day at MSP. And it's given by percentages. So the top number here, the 50% by April 23rd, but that basically means half of years, that's our last frost date is April 23rd. 70% of the time, it ends by the end of April, 80% by May 2nd, and 90% of the time, we're done with frost by May the 7th. That still means we can see frost deep into the month of May. In fact, our latest frost actually happened in 1925. May 24th was our last frost date. And again, that's just for the metro areas outside the Twin Cities metro core, especially central northern Minnesota, tend to see much later final frost. This is the weekend forecast. Today is about as cool as it gets over the next several days. Low to mid 50s today. Saturday, we see the 60s return, and then well into the 60s, even a couple of low 70s possible as we head into Sunday. And overall, this weekend is looking very nice. This is our radar satellite composite. One thing you'll note is we're not entirely cloud-free, but most of these clouds are just bubbling up with the heat of the afternoon sun. They're fair weather cumulus clouds, which tend to not bring any rain as long as they're not towering cumulus, and they tend to bring very quiet, very stable conditions. This is microcast that keeps those clouds with us through the latter half of the afternoon. We'll see those dissipate overnight. Again, these are all bubbling up with the heat of the sun. So as the sun goes down, we lose that energy and we clear out entirely. So a mostly clear start to your Saturday. Clouds will start to increase from the northwest in the afternoon, and we are tracking a weak frontal boundary, which is going to work through the area Saturday evening. So this is 6 p.m. Saturday, the middle part of the evening. Some rain from, say, International Falls, the Iron Range through the Alexandria, Fergus Falls area. Some of that will work its way through the Twin Cities by about 8 to 10 o'clock Saturday evening. But notice it's very spotty stuff. Better chance for rain up north. We clear out as we head into Sunday, and that will lead to quiet conditions for the rest of the weekend. So a nice weekend is in the forecast. Temperatures peaking on Sunday before again cooling off heading into next week. And there's those isolated rain showers Monday and again on Wednesday.